Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first episode of Live with Google for Nonprofits. We'll get started in just a minute here, but just to make sure, let us know if you have any issues hearing or seeing me, and then we'll go ahead and get started. As you can see on the right, there is a live chat functionality. So you can go ahead and ask your question there. You can let us know what you think of the live stream, and you can go ahead and let us know if you have any connectivity problems as well. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So you may be wondering, what is Live with Google for Nonprofits? So we started a new show, and it will be every other Thursday starting today, and the time zone will change for episodes. So take a look at our YouTube channel to make sure you set a reminder. And every other week, we'll be broadcasting live with members of the Google for Profits team, as well as other experts from Google from different product areas. We'll also have some speakers from various nonprofits joining us to tell us more about their stories. And if you have any suggestions or any topics that you'd like us to cover, we'll have a survey at the end of the video, and you'll be able to put your responses in that survey and let us know if there's any topics that you'd like us to cover in the future. So we started this new show because we've heard from nonprofits around the world through our surveys and chatting with one-on-one conversations. You'd really love more touch points with the Google for Nonprofits team. We know we're available in many countries around the world, and we have hundreds of thousands of nonprofits who use Google for Nonprofits tools. So we want to make sure we're as accessible as possible. So through our live chat every week, you'll be able to ask your questions, and we'll be able to cover topics that we know you're interested in. Just so you know, the session will be recorded. So you'll be able to access this session at a later time through the same link that you're watching it now. So you can go to our YouTube channel, and there also will be a Live with Google for Nonprofits playlist. And in this playlist, you'll be able to see future episodes, the timing for the episodes, the subject, as well as a survey in which you can basically request certain topics. Awesome. So today on our first episode, we will be talking a bit about, we'll be introducing a few members of our team. Alessia and Fiona from the Google for Nonprofits team will be joining us to give us a quick introduction to who they are, how long they've been on the team, and some information about themselves. And then we'll also have Rebecca from the Applied Digital Skills team, and she'll be taking us through Applied Digital Skills, which is a free training resource with lessons and tutorials to help you upskill your nonprofit as well as those that you provide services for. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll start with my introduction. So I'm Isha. I've been on the Google for Nonprofits team since March, but I've been at Google for almost 4 years now. I'm from the Midwest originally, but now I am based in Oakland. I am getting some feedback that I am a little bit pixelated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to switch my camera off for a second. So just give me one moment. And to make sure that you can hear and you can see me. So give me one moment here. All right, I'm back. All right, so it sounds like my sound quality is okay. My video isn't great, but that's okay because it's more important for you to hear our guest speakers and our other team members today anyways. So we'll go ahead and just keep going. Right. So as I was saying, I'm Isha, and I'm from the Midwest, but I'm based here in Oakland, California. So giving the live stream from my house here. I'm super passionate about the Google Nonprofits team. Joining Google, I wanted to really work in social impact, and I love that our mission is to really empower nonprofits with technology. And my favorite part of my job is talking to nonprofits on a day-to-day basis and learning about their challenges and seeing how Google and other technology can really empower nonprofits around the world to drive more impact. So that's a bit about me. And then now I will pass it on to Fiona, who's another member of the Google for Nonprofit team, to tell us a little bit more about herself. So Fiona, there she is, and I'll let her take the screen. Fiona, we actually can't hear you. I think you might be on mute. If you want to unmute your microphone and start for your intro. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us through our challenges. Just like all of you, we're working from home and dealing with live streams and making sure that everything works okay. We're working with Isha to get her video quality and sound quality up there again, so we should be good to go. But yeah, as Isha said, I'm Fiona, very excited to be here today and speak with all of you. I've been at Google 11 years next week. Time flies when you're having fun. But I've been on the Google for Nonprofits team about 3.5 years now. I focus on some of our product operations and customer support operations. So maybe sometimes you'll see my name hopping in our community forum, or I'll be involved in different launches for our product. And that's kind of what I focus on day to day. I'm originally from the Midwest as well. Actually, Isha and I are from the same suburb, which is kind of crazy. Many years later, we're working on the same team. And I would say my favorite thing about working on the team is being able to use all the knowledge that I've gained over the decade at Google to help nonprofits day in, day out. I've always been able to connect with nonprofits in whatever role that I had at Google, but this one allows me to focus 100% of my time on that, which is looking
Hi, everyone. I am Alessia. You might have seen me in a few live streams we have delivered recently. I am originally from Italy, so I moved to the US a couple of years ago to join the Google for Nonprofits team. I'm a program manager on the team, and I work a lot with nonprofits to tell their stories and tell their impact stories with Google for Nonprofits, which is probably my favorite part, getting to talk to nonprofits, sharing their stories on our social channels, our blog posts. So that makes me very proud about being part of the team. Originally, as I said, I'm from Italy. My background is all in corporate social responsibility. I studied corporate social responsibility, and I worked also in the international cooperation field in Milan, Paris, and New Delhi before moving to Dublin, where I worked for 7 years at Google as a product specialist. Again, my passion is all about social impact, so I was so happy to join the team in San Francisco a couple of years back.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introductions to Alessia and Fiona. All right, so now we will move on to our main topic of the day. So I'd like to bring on Rebecca from our Applied Digital Skills team to tell us more about herself and more about the Applied Digital Skills program. All right, so here is Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. So I will also do an intro. So hi, I'm Rebecca Hardy. I'm a program manager at Google on Applied Digital Skills. I've been at Google 12 years now. So like Fiona said, time does fly. And I've been on this team since March. I am originally from Savannah, Georgia, but I now live in San Francisco. My team's mission is expanding opportunities and reducing inequities with technology, which is really well aligned with my personal passions. And so I'm here today to share some information about a free digital skills resource for nonprofits that we recently launched in partnership with the Google for Nonprofits and the Google Ad Grants teams. And so let me go to my next slide. All right, it's all working. All right, so what is Applied Digital Skills? Applied Digital Skills is a free online video-based curriculum. Its focus is to teach learners of all ages the practical digital skills needed to succeed at school, in the workplace, and in life. And on the site, there are lessons for both middle and high school students, as well as adult learners, and you can sort by audience. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what I mean when I refer to a lesson. Each lesson is a video series of instructional videos that teaches learners how to do really practical things that someone would frequently have to do at work. So something like building a presentation or managing a project. So each lesson has typically 6 to 10 videos, and they're around 2 to 7 minutes each. In the videos, we walk learners through a set of skills. So we explain what they will learn, why they would need to do it, and then we take folks through how to do it. And then learners are asked to try the skills being demonstrated in the video. And video playback speed can be adjusted to the learner's pace. And we also provide an instructional summary to reference a skill set next to the videos. Lessons usually take about 30 minutes to 2 hours to complete, depending on the complexity of the skills being taught. And all of our lessons use project-based learning. So what I mean by this is Each skill that is being learned contributes to a deliverable. So at the end of the lesson, learners will have something really tangible, like a basic resume or, say, a budget tracker built in Google Sheets. And we have hundreds of lessons with a wide range of skills and Google applications. Our focus is really to create learning experiences that are relevant to learners' lives, and we want to provide opportunities for them to practice with authentic performance tasks. And really, we hope to create lifelong learners by building confidence and success through meaningful learning experiences. So, go to my next slide. All right, so why should nonprofits be interested in using applied digital skills? So earlier this year, my team teamed up with the Google for Nonprofits team and the Google Ad Grants team to create a set of resources that can help nonprofits who are getting used to the Google for Nonprofits suite. So first, we took a look at a lot of the great lessons that we already have, and we curated a collection specifically for nonprofits. And these lessons seek to teach common activities that either nonprofit employees or volunteers might need to do in Google applications. And so we now have a custom web page with lessons focused on helping your staff and your volunteers help the organization stand out online and increase donor engagement, improve productivity, and improve communication and collaboration remotely or in person. The second thing we did, the Ad Grants team shared that one of the biggest challenges for nonprofits is improving donations. So at Google, we provide $10,000 a month in free search advertising to help qualified nonprofits raise awareness and drive site traffic and online donations. But we also know that digital advertising and search advertising can be pretty confusing to get started with, particularly for time and resource-strapped nonprofits. So we built a new lesson called Launch a Successful Ad Grants Campaign, and that walks nonprofits through signing up for Google for Nonprofits and Ad Grants, all the way through to launching a search campaign. All right. So where are these resources and what do they look like? So I have a GIF here that kind of scrolls through the collection page. You can find the Google for Nonprofits collection at the link on the top of the page. So it's kind of lengthy, applieddigitalskills.withgoogle.com/c/en/nonprofits. Or you can really just go to google.com and Google Applied Digital Skills Nonprofits, and it'll be this first search result. So this collection of lessons could be super helpful if you're trying to learn how to result from search. Oh my gosh, sorry, my phone is also responding to me because I've said Google too much. So anyway, we think that this collection could be helpful if you're trying to learn or you're trying to teach your employees or your volunteers how to upskill in the Google for Nonprofits suite. It can help strengthen your organization's digital skills by practicing really relevant activities. And so you can learn things like how to create a business profile on Google, and that helps you get discovered on Google Maps, and it helps you manage how your nonprofit shows up on search. Or you could learn how to plan an event or manage a project with digital tools and a whole lot more. Let's go to the next slide. All right, and then the new lesson that we launched teaches you how to launch a successful Ad Grants campaign. And it's the first lesson in the Google for Nonprofits collection. This lesson is especially helpful for nonprofits if you're trying to onboard to the Google for Nonprofits suite or to Google Ad Grants, but the lesson can be used to teach really any employee or volunteer who wants to learn how to launch a new Ad Grants campaign. And there's a lot of step-by-step videos that show you how to do things like understand the eligibility requirements and sign up for Ad Grants, learn terminology and concepts of digital marketing using Google search ads, determining appropriate digital marketing nonprofit goals, identifying requirements for a successful nonprofit marketing campaign, and then setting up your search campaign to achieve a typical goal for nonprofits, like building awareness or driving donations. Let's see if I'm on my next slide, which I'm having a hard time following right now. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, and so finally, we'll go to, all right, yeah, okay. So outside of the lessons that we specifically curated and created to help nonprofit employees and volunteers, we think that applied digital skills lessons can actually potentially help nonprofits upskill the communities you serve as well. So if your organization does any education or job readiness activities, you could use applied digital skills curriculum to train your program's participants. As I mentioned earlier, there are over 100 lessons for middle and high school students as well as adults, and they're completely free for anyone to use. So for the best experience, we recommend signing in with your Google account. So if you sign in as a student, basically this allows you to see all the lessons you've taken and you can track your progress. And if you need to pause in the middle of a lesson, you can pick back up where you started. Then if you sign in as a teacher, this could allow you to create classes. You can add different lessons that could be applicable to your learners, and then you can share a class code with them and you can track their progress as well. All right, and then finally, we encourage you to check out all of these resources and to give them a try. And so if you do, we would love it if you went to the bottom of the Nonprofits Collection page, where you'll see this section that says Try a Lesson, and you can share your story for a chance to be featured in a social or a blog post. And that is really all I have to share with you today. So I will pause now and pass it back over, I think, to Isha, and maybe we will be answering questions.
All right, I think I'm on mute, but I think you can hear me now. So thank you all for your patience, our connectivity skills and connectivity issues, but appreciate your attention and everything on this amazing presentation. So thank you, Rebecca, for this awesome overview of applied digital skills. If you have, so now actually we will take some time for Q&A. So you can ask questions about Google for Nonprofits in general, or questions for Rebecca about applied digital skills. And you can let us know what your questions are. Cool. So the first question that I think we're seeing a lot of comments about are about ad grant support resources. So yes, we hear you. Ad grants is something that it takes some work to make sure you're setting it up correctly. So we have provided some resources to help you there. So there is Help Center for Google Ad and Google Ad Grants specifically. So you can check out there for any specific common questions that you may have. We also have a community forum. We highly recommend posting in our community forum. Oftentimes, ad grants experts jump into the community forum and they answer specific questions. So I'll share the link of the community forum. And there's also an ad grants community forum specifically too. So you can use that to post your question, and you will get responses from members of the community or members of the ad grants team specifically, or the Google for Nonprofits team. If you're setting up and you want to learn how to launch a successful ad grants campaign, that's what Rebecca just talked about in our session, is that there's step-by-step tutorials that they've built to really walk you through exactly how to launch your first campaign. So we highly recommend starting there. Most of the common questions that we get on the community forum could be answered through those lessons. So we definitely recommend checking that out. And then Ad Grants has its own YouTube channel as well. So you definitely can do that. If you want to get more specific ad grants help, there are some partnered organizations with Google you can find on the ad grants page that are certified professionals that they can actually give you some one-on-one support that way too. So those are probably the main ways to get some ad grant support. And also highly recommend subscribing to both the ad grants and our YouTube channel for more lessons and tutorials and ways to make sure that you're making the most of your grant. Awesome. So do we have any other big questions? We'll give everybody a minute to continue asking questions. And meantime, something I wanted to make sure that everybody is aware is we do have our YouTube channel, our Twitter channel, our Facebook page, and the community forum. There are links here where you can check it out. On our social feed, we often give some links to new tutorials, new events that are coming up. We'll share more episodes and more content from this show too. And we'll be able to see like what other teams at Google are doing to support nonprofits. We also are sharing more nonprofit stories as well. So if you want to read more case studies of how other nonprofits are using technology or Google tools in innovative ways, you can check out these channels. All right. Cool. So it seems like we do a lot of individual questions, so that's great. We will leave the stream up to make sure everyone has a chance to get those questions answered. But it looks like for the group, we may be good on questions, so we can go ahead and wrap up. One more thing that I wanted to remind everybody of is we do a survey. So you can let us know what you thought of today's event by taking the survey. So it's goo.gle/webinar. And by going to this link, you'll have a survey in which you can provide us more information of what you thought about today's first episode of Live with Google for Nonprofits. This is the first episode, so we're always trying to improve and we're trying to make it more and more relevant. So we're answering your questions, we're providing you with information that's helpful for you. So please make sure to fill out the survey if you have thoughts and feedback. We know connectivity was a little bit pixelated at the beginning, so we for sure work on that for the next episode, and we will make sure our sound quality is even better. So thank you for being patient with us there. And you also have a space to actually write out some topics that you're interested in learning, and we will be using that to fill out the agendas for the next shows. So your feedback matters to us a lot, and we want to make sure that we are addressing what you're interested in. All right, so we will go ahead and wrap up, but thank you so much. You'll be able to, if you have questions, our team members here will continue to answer your questions in that for the next couple of minutes. So keep an eye on that. And if you do want to rewatch this episode, you can find it at this link. It's the same link that you're watching it on the Google for Nonprofits YouTube page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're constantly putting up more tutorials, more live events. So we're excited to have you all here. Thank you for joining us on our first episode, and make sure to fill out the survey. All right. Have a good one, everybody.